If you're in the business of baptizing and converting and persuading and shifting and paradigm shift, you have to be very, 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 very patient. Do you know how many people eventually became a Christian simply because of the way the person treated them? Do you know most people that become Christians or any denomination?
Ben Shapiro is getting absolutely shredded by so many people in the media, and it's great to see people finally stand up to people like Ben Shapiro, who everybody has kind of felt like you can't really go against the Daily Wire because they kind of run things in the conservative media space. People like Megyn Kelly and a lot of others, Dave Rubin, they're giving interviews to Ben Shapiro, but kind of giving him softball questions because they don't want to ruin their relationship with the Daily Wire. But people like Patrick Bet-David and the rest of the Valuetainment crew, they don't care much about that. They care about actual truth. They care about getting to the bottom of things. And it's very, very evident here in this clip from Patrick Bet-David, who absolutely shredded Ben Shapiro, as well as reacting to the clip of Andrew Schulz also shredding Ben Shapiro, and a lot of other people shredding Ben Shapiro as well for the firing of Candace Owens. Let's check out this clip here from Valuetainment of Patrick Bet-David destroying Ben Shapiro for firing Candace Owens, and also his reaction and to the backlash of him firing Candace Owens. He's very smug every single time he does an interview. He won't answer the question, but he answers the question at the same time, kind of sending a message to us and to Candace Owens like, yeah, I fired you. Yeah, I fired Candace Owens, and there's nothing you can do about it. Let's check out this clip here from Patrick Bet-David.
Andrew Schulz recently said something. Rob, if we can pull up this clip from Andrew Schulz. I don't know what all of a sudden happened and prompted Andrew Schulz to say this, but go ahead and play this clip of Andrew Schulz reacting to what happened between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. Go ahead.
He makes the argument for censorship. He calls it something else.
Yeah, I forget the term. I have it in my phone.
But I don't even think he's using the term right. But he's basically like, there's a window of ideas we accept.
Yes.
And we accept ideas between this, I guess this is, if I get window, you're looking like this. So we accept ideas between here and here. And anything outside of that window, well, you're fireable. That's censorship. What? But he's acting as if this is like a justified reason for firing people when you built your identity and platform off of no censorship and freedom of speech and facts don't care about.
Yeah, and he's just going to say, like, Ben Shapiro, this is a great point, the same point that I and so many others have been trying to make about this situation. The way that Ben Shapiro is trying to justify the firing of Candace Owens is by saying, oh, yeah, but I fired her because of what she was saying and her opinions, but I don't support her deplatforming from YouTube or Twitter or anything like that, so I'm off the hook, right? It's a great point being brought up here by Andrew Schulz, because this should not get Ben Shapiro off the hook at all for justifying Candace Owens firing like this.
Your feelings and all this shit.
It's also funny that window happens to end where his beliefs end.
Isn't it interesting?
You would say that. Not being pro-Israel, that's where the window ends. That's also your specific personal belief.
What?
So I just don't see.
You can't have an opinion on your platform that is not pro a country that is not ours?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's crazy.
So is the Daily Wire an American media platform or is it an Israeli media platform? I'm just asking.
This guy's cooking.
Great question. That is an absolutely great question from Andrew Schulz.
If the rule is,
he better watch himself. He better watch himself. He's going down a dangerous path right now.
Just saying, if the rule is you cannot be critical, because he has no problem being very critical of America. Yep. Critical of the left in America. Left is half the country. You have no problem eviscerating half of the country.
That's the current party in power.
But you can't criticize Israel as a country. That's just another country, unless you're saying, and you're clearly admitting, that the Daily Wire is an arm of the Israeli, I guess, media or propaganda machine. Is that? Oof. Are you manipulating the religious right in America? Are you manipulating the right-wing conservatives in America and selling them country western movies and putting on your little cowboy hat and fake moving to Nashville so that you could take all their money and then in the process restricting free speech, one of the core tenets of the American identity? Ben.
Benjamin.
What is happening? There's trouble in paradise.
For context, Daily Wire's in Nashville, but he's in Florida. But yeah, what do you think about his points?
I mean, it makes a valid point, but and I sent Rob.
What people have to realize is this is all a business. Like, none of this is, like, the Daily Wire doesn't exist because people are just so passionate about free speech and right-wing politics, right-wing positions. Dude, they don't care about that. Most of the people in the Daily Wire are hired actors and actresses. Like, legit. That's why they're doing movies and stuff like that, because most of them had no interest in this stuff. And then the Daily Wire went out and scouted the talent, gave them talking points to spew out there because they know the right wing is so damn gullible that if a pretty face says it, then people will just eat it up. Like, that's why they went and got Brett Cooper. And I hope I'm not exposing too much, but Brett Cooper is just an actress that was told to say certain talking points to sound good. And they know she's like young and cute. So the right wing is just so gullible, they're just going to eat it up. Like, oh, look, a cute girl saying the same thing that I think. I love this so much. I love the Daily Wire. And it works. It works well I might copy the same thing and go do that too, because it prints money for them. But now people are finally starting to wake up to what the Daily Wire actually is. It's like they don't care about free speech. They don't care about any of this stuff. They care about making money, and that's it. And it seems like they care about a certain country in the Middle East a lot more than the one that they live in.
Another video of Ben kind of contradicting himself, but he's 100% right. Like what? And by the way, that's what attracted me to Ben Shapiro in the first place. That dialogue, that everybody say what you want, do what you want. Facts don't care about your feelings. This is a place where you can say anything except that one topic. And we obviously know Ben is 1,000% Israel. We get it. It's no secret. They could do no wrong. Can we play this, Patrick? I sent Rob this clip of Ben basically contradicting himself.
We have literally tens of millions of people in the United States who are afraid that the cancel culture is coming for them. And cancel culture does exist. And so what this results in very, very often is corporations looking to cram down a particular viewpoint on you and then cancel you. When it comes to the hosts on the Daily Wire, obviously everyone is able to say what they want. But the reality is that there is an Overton window at the Daily Wire. There are polls out there that show that a vast majority of Americans in every single political group, including liberals, feel like they cannot say what they want to say.
If you enjoy content like this, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
In public, because they're afraid that they are going to be canceled, fired,
he's
cast
saying
out
this,
from polite society.
and then
this actually happened to a socialist moron named Nathan Robinson. He got canceled from The Guardian.
He's basically
and he said
saying
he got canceled from The
censorship
Guardian
isn't good?
because he had put up some anti-Israel tweets. Okay, now I think he's an idiot. I think that his views on Israel are abhorrent, but I don't think that he should lose his columnist spot over at The Guardian. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any publisher. Any publisher gets to make decisions about what it wishes to purvey and not. He certainly would not
basically
defend
everything
anybody
he
on the other
said, he
side
used to say, now he's so he went against his word on basically everything that he said. He went the complete opposite because we found out that they fired her. They didn't have one of those contract disputes. They were like, you don't see the way that we say, you're being anti-us, goodbye, and they fired her. So that's just proof that he's a hypocrite.
Thoughts on this?
So I've been very open that I thought that the Daily Wire managed the whole thing.
The Daily Wire, like, I don't mean to keep cutting these people off, but the Daily Wire is 100% going to die if they keep going down this path, because they have Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David, who was trying to hire people like Don Lemon and hired Chris Cuomo, or I don't think he actually, I think that might have been an April Fool's joke where he tried to hire Don Lemon, but he hired Chris Cuomo, who is very much not on his side of things, very much not on Patrick Bet-David's side of things, and he's actively trying to recruit people to make Valuetainment not an echo chamber, because it's boring to watch an echo chamber. And that's exactly what the Daily Wire is becoming. You know, it's like for a while, this whole thing about it's us versus them, it's the right against the left, it's us versus the woke stuff, that worked for a while. But now if there's actual competition like Valuetainment that's coming in here and saying, we're not just going to talk about us being versus the woke stuff. We're actually going to have these conversations in real time on live podcasts. And the Daily Wire is firing anyone who is still on the right wing and largely agrees with most of Ben Shapiro's opinions, but they just disagree on one little thing and they get fired. If that's how they're going to act, if that's how they're going to operate, and there's companies and there's organizations like Valuetainment that's willing to not like actually actively seek out people with different opinions from them, the Daily Wire is going to lose, and there's no question about it.
Candace in public and managed it very poorly. And then Ben Shapiro just come back on leadership and say, well, I'm a founder, but I'm not the CEO and I'm not making decisions. I'm like, come on, dude, you just did. Yeah. So I thought the way it played out in public from a leadership standpoint was not good, but I kind of see it another way. You determine the product you're going to put out. You determine, and for better or for worse. And if you get exposed like CNN did for spinning things, stifling things, and not really be journalists, then guess what? Your ratings go down, your ads go down, your business goes down. Now, let's take a look at this. What if, Pat, we had some people at PHP and we're selling life insurance, proven life insurance that's protecting families, is doing good stuff.
Sure.
Proven product. Yep. And what if we had somebody saying people going they get their insurance license, they tell people, you should just buy gold. Life insurance really isn't it. You should just buy gold. Just buy gold, just do that. We would take them aside and say, what are you doing? You know what? We're here and we're training people and these are valid products. This is what we got. And you wouldn't be there. Vinny, if you had a car dealership and you were selling EVs and you would say, look, a Ford F-150 pickup with the diesel engine, the big F-250.
It's completely different. It's that I understand what he's saying. I understand he's viewing it from a purely business perspective, which if you view it from that perspective, it's not the worst thing in the world that Candace Owens got fired. It's just not. If you view strictly business, strictly revenue reasons, and strictly like image of the company that they want to build, then it's different. You know, if you're trying to sell a certain product, you're trying to sell Ford trucks, and then you say, you know, the salesman at the Ford dealership is like, you know, I kind of like Chevrolet better. Like, you should probably just go buy a Chevy. Like, obviously you're going to fire the guy, right? But the reason why this is so bad and such a bad look for Ben Shapiro is because the entire brand of Ben Shapiro and of the Daily Wire has been free speech, pro-America. And when someone is coming in and not saying anything violent, not saying anything super aggressive, just kind of questioning, like, why can't we question these people? Why can't we question what's going on over here? And being pro-America, and when they exercise their right to free speech, you fire them. That's why it's such a bad look to me.
50 with diesel, that's what you need to be hauling stuff around on your farm. You shouldn't be thinking about, EVs or something. You would be like, wait a minute, I hired you to sell EVs. So there is a part of it that the position of a company, you may not agree with it. You know what? If you're there and you're selling it, that's it. But I thought how it played out with Candace was just bad.
I want to give you, and I know where you're going with that, where, the product of the product, right? And it wasn't something that was indisputable. It wasn't like it was hidden. It wasn't a secret. You knew what I stood for. But at the same time, I was always in the business of converting, meaning if you're in the business of shifting people's mindset from not wanting to work hard, that takes a while. But it doesn't mean, nope, you're not, you're out, right? Yeah. If you're in the business of baptizing and converting and persuading and shifting and paradigm shift, you have to be very, 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 very patient. Do you know how many people eventually became a Christian simply because of the way the person treated them? Do you know most people that become Christians or any denomination? Yesterday, the guy at the soccer game that we're watching,
Actually, a very, very good point from Patrick Bet-David there, talking about Ben Shapiro. A lot of people might not catch what he's saying, but basically what he's saying is by firing Candace Owens, not only do you, because if she went down a certain line of questioning, not only do you kind of put the nail in the coffin of Candace Owens ever being accepting of your position, but also anyone who's looking at this situation objectively and isn't just a brainwashed, diehard Daily Wire fan, or who is a fan of Candace Owens, you're also putting the nail in the coffin of them ever accepting your position as well, which is why free speech is so important, which is why the crucible of ideas is so important, because if we don't have that, if we don't have this discussion between Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro about these topics, then that's why, that's exactly what we criticize the left for. That's exactly what Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire criticized the left for, is exactly what they're doing. So it's a very, very important point there by Patrick Bet-David. Let me know in the comments, though. What are you thinking about Patrick Bet-David and the Valuetainment crew's thoughts on the firing of Candace Owens and on Andrew Schulz shredding Ben Shapiro? Do you agree with Andrew Schulz and do you agree with Patrick Bet-David? Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this whole situation. To me, not looking very good for Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hope to see you guys on the next one.